It was a banner year for Awful. You dethroned the two times champ. That was me. We got some new blood in the playoffs. That's good. And yeah, we're moving into 24 with big new things popping, expanding, all that fun, happy horse shit. So yeah, I figured we should recap 2023 with a little award video, celebrate what was a banner year for the league. I've got a lot to discuss, a lot to go over, and not a lot of time because my target audience, Coral, he's got the attention span of a lab puppy. And if these things go on too long, I know he's just gonna just flake out and stop watching, and I don't want that to happen. Carl, this is for you. I want you to enjoy this. I know yesterday didn't treat you very kindly, so maybe this video will. Um, what didn't go so well this year? Well, I won't spend a whole lot of time talking about Cody's team, uh, but just to turn it into something positive, he did double his win total from the year before. So, see, everything's coming up awful. The acronym, not the actual word. Um, we'll go into the awards and fun stuff here momentarily. However, let's talk about our champion, Mr. Ryan Fijier Weirda. And yes, he will probably be annoying as hell about this. So apologies in advance. There he is there. Maybe he had a couple of those gummies. I don't know. Certainly looks like it. Yeah. Um, I do feel like he cheated. So I included a GIF declaring as such. Side missions. Let's talk about side missions. We did that this year again. And unfortunately, once again, Ryan comes out on top. Ryan won three of those some bitches. Walker, Matt, and Cody each nabbed a couple. B Money, big runner up. Joey, JoJo, Shebadoo, and myself, we all won one. Notably absent, though, Coral and Brent. So $9 for each win. That, of course, goes to your 2024 buy in. So, congratulations, everybody, on winning some side missions. We'll do it again next year. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Anyway, oh, before we get to the awards, yes, I wanted to talk about next year. So, what changes in 2024? Well, first off, we welcome Shane and Dylan. I got their pictures there. There's going to be full roster resets, which I think Carl mentioned in the text, but we won't do any contracts or keepers going into a new year. So we're going to start fresh. We'll nominate keepers after the draft. We'll kind of go through that whole rigmarole again. We will shrink roster sizes down just a tiny bit. Maybe you thought to yourself, going from 10 to 12 teams, that's going to bite into the available players. Well, yeah, we thought about that. So we're going to go from 9 offense, 9 defense, 9 bench, down to 8 offense, 8 defense, 8 bench. That balances things out pretty well. I think, I put down some numbers somewhere. We went from I don't know, 300 available or 300 taken players to like 320 taken players. So it frees up a little bit of talent or makes talent still there. Whatever. No contract penalties. So if you dropped Nicholas Chubbsy this last year, don't worry about it. We're not going to deduct $5 or charge $5. Whatever. And we're going to look at an early summer, late spring draft. So May, June, whatever. We'll try and get that going. It sounds like everybody has kids and families and jobs, and so trying to cram a draft together in actual draft season always becomes a little bit dicey. We want everybody there. We want even Brent to be able to make it to the draft. So we're hoping if we bump that draft date up, that kind of makes things a little bit easier rather than trying to throw it together in the summer during the busy season. So, knock on wood, we'll see everybody for a draft in May, June, and it'll be a good time. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll still do fun stuff to determine draft order. We're Probably gonna play some sort of side game to do all that fun stuff. Yeah, just be on the lookout for it. 2024, big new things happening. Um, yeah, refer back to Carl's email and text if you have any questions. Just wanted to say hi and recap it over here. Yes, the awards. Let's get back to the year that was. Um, got a bunch of awards we're going to nominate, give out, whatever. You don't get a trophy. You're not going to get a certificate. You're just going to get this video, and hopefully you'll get a little kick out of it. Our first award is the Ass Man. This award goes to the most tight end obsessed league mate. And this guy started the most tight ends by a long shot. Of course, if you think about it, throughout the course of the regular season, we have one tight end spot, right? You have to start a tight end 15 times. This guy started a tight end 32 times. He started so many tight ends that he had three going in weeks 3, 9, 10, 12, and 13. Three different tight ends started 5 weeks out of the year. What is that? Um, Only two other times all season did somebody even flex one additional tight end. So, this guy was obsessed. He's the ass man. That person is Joey Jojo Shabadoo Jr. There he is, playing the guitar. You know him, you love him. Joe Crookston. Way to go, buddy. What's our next award? The Cheap Bastard? Well, that doesn't sound like a good award to give. Um, this league mate spent a whole 26 free agent bucks. Shocking. They also made 21 roster moves, though, so it's not like they were just sitting on their hands. They were just cheap bastards. Um, this team did double the previous owner's win total from last year, which is maybe a little bit of a giveaway. Who is this cheap bastard? It's the GOAT. It's Brian. Way to go. Um, just to kind of drill down onto some of those free agent acquisitions and money spent, I took notes. I brought some evidence, okay? Of course, how can we forget the biggest free agent acquisition of all year? That was Cody's $60 on Kareem Hunt. That will live in infamy. Other notable free agent spends: Zach Charbonnet went for $47 to big runner up. That flew under the radar. I don't think I knew that happened. Puka Nacua went for $27. I got that one. Tyler Algier went for 25. I was guilty on that one. Jaleel McLaughlin, whoever that is, he went for $23 to Walker. Josh Palmer went for $20 to Joe. KJ Osborne went for $20 to Ryan. Kirk Cousins went for $19 the week that he got injured to Big Mike. So that one probably stings a little bit. But yeah, there were some big moves on free agent bucks that went down. But looking at this, it kind of makes me realize maybe you don't need to go balls to the wall when you're spending on free agents. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens next year. But word to the wise, or just word to Cody, you probably don't need to spend $60 on a player. So there's that. Brian, congrats, you cheap bastard. What do we got next? It's the John Gruden Quarterback Whisperer Award. Ooh, controversial. This person fielded, maybe there's a pun there, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, and Jared Goff at different points this year. Probably would have won the championship with competent play at the quarterback position. This league mate also rails against the league's tendency to covet QBs. Last year, he ran out Justin Fields and Jared Goff again, and he lost in the playoffs again. In year one, he fielded Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Taysom Hill. I have a feeling that if this person were to actually draft a competent quarterback, they probably would have handed our asses to us each of the last 2 years without any problem. Of course, we're talking about Coral. Coral, I mean, you keep grinding that axe against the quarterback position, but yeah, one of these years you might catch on that there's a better way, and that better way is just draft a quarterback, man. I don't know, but you do you. I'm just saying the results kind of speaking for themselves, but the quarterback whisperer. You kind of look like John Gruden too with that orange shirt. I think that's you got a thing going. Interesting. The plot thickens. Did you know that John Gruden's back in the league? By the way, I guess he was some sort of what do you call it, advisor to the Saints this last year. Weird, weird. Our next award, the Field Guide to Micromanagement. What do we mean by that? Well, this person made 64 acquisitions, league leading, 12 IR moves, league leading, two trades, not league leading, but when you put it all together, all those different moves were light years ahead of the rest of the league. 4.5 moves per week. This averages out to, so that's aggressive. You're very hands on. However, the results do speak for themselves because this particular league mate came in second. That's right. It's the Texas Ranger. It's Walker. Walker, quit poking and prodding your team, man. No, actually, I mean you did something right. You finished second, so who am I to player hate? Um, in 2022, the transaction leader was Walker with 54 transactions. So there's clearly a trend. In 2021, it was Joey Jojo Shabadoo with 43. So I think it's safe to say that with the league expanding next year, and what we're seeing in the increase in acquisitions made, that number's probably going to go up again. You're going to have to really be gambling and playing that wire to stay competitive. That's just one man's opinion, though. Again, Walker, congratulations, field guide to micromanagement. Our next award: A Fool and His Money Are Soon Parted. Now, bear with me, okay? This league mate had so many DBs, a lot of DBs. But beyond the DBs, he had guys that we knew were going to hold out, we knew were going to be cut, and yet he held his cards. He was bound and determined to make that work out. He also had help. I mean, a lot of these players weren't his to begin with. They came in via trade. So yeah, that's an interesting wrinkle to all this. Lighting his money on fire, burning contracts on players that probably didn't need them. It's Stoned Ryan. Now you're gonna say, but Ben, Stoned Ryan was the league champion. Yeah, well, as I mentioned, he had help. Cody fed him all of his good players. I'm not going to get too hung up on that, but if you just look at the team that Ryan had before he was given CMC and Mike Evans, come on. This is not a championship squad, okay? Anyway, there he is, a fool and his money. They're probably going to part next year because if he has to do it from scratch, come on now. This guy, he doesn't have it. What's next? What's our next award? The Free Agent Hotshot Award. Now, maybe it's a little bit gauche to nominate myself, but I'm just going to throw that out there. Ryan also had some good free agent pickups. Brent did snag DB2 when he needed it the most. Brent wasn't super active on the waiver wires, but you know what? He ended up with Deron Bland down a stretch where Bland put up like high double digit points 5, 6 weeks in a row, so good on him. I wasn't sure really who won this one outright, so again, we're just gonna go. We're gonna throw all three of these out there. I did pick up Puka Nakua, who finished as wide receiver 5 on the year. I also picked up two top 10 linebackers. Okay, and I picked up a top 12 DB. So come on, I was working that shit. Um, Ryan got Kyron Williams. Ryan also picked up Khalil Mack. Ryan's going to tell you that Khalil Mack was like a god tier pickup, but let's be honest. 58 of those points came the week before you picked him up, so come on, let's be real. But the Kyron Williams one was legitimately a good one. He did also spend like $19 on Zach Evans, though, so come on. Let's take a quick look at some of the player awards, some things that I couldn't really think of a funny award title to go with. Best draft pick, I think, was pretty easily Jaden Reed, who finished wide receiver 16 on the year. He was picked in the final round for Brent's team, so kudos there. The worst pick, I tried to eliminate a lot of injuries and stuff like that out of the equation. I wanted to just go with underperforming players. In that case, I think it's Drake London. He finished wide receiver 41. He was picked in the second round. Right there were Mike Evans and DJ Moore, who could have been taken ahead of him. Not that I'm disrespecting the swing, okay? I love a good gamble, especially when we're talking kind of dynasty esque builds. So I totally get it. But results being what they are, that one kind of backfired. Um, Best trade, I wanted to look at this as like a mutually beneficial trade, right? Nobody really lost. So, uh, Puka and Montez Sweat for David Montgomery and Chris Olave. I think we both came out in a pretty good place on that trade. So, in that regards, I think, we're both winners. Great trade. What the hell? Worst trade, there were a couple of stinkers. The Mike Evans for Quay Walker. Uh, there were a couple guys in there. I think, gosh, I don't remember who else. It was one wide receiver that got hurt for basically the rest of the year. Um, but I really felt like the Evan Ingram, Nicholas Morrow, Chris Olave for Adam Thielen trade was maybe a little bit worse. Thielen had a super hot first 5, 6 weeks of the year when this trade happened, and then Thielen went thoroughly right down the drain. Um, Nick Morrow was kind of a mid-range startable linebacker. Olave, I mean, he had his moments. He ended up hurt, nicked up quite a bit. So I don't know. And Evan Ingram, he's Evan Ingram. I think he finished the year as tight end too, but a lot of big boom games and a lot of meh in between those. So that's kind of how I viewed that one. I don't know. If I could go back and do it again, maybe I'd make that Mike Evans trade the worst one, just because it ended up helping Ryan win the championship. So there's that. Um, that's what I got, though, guys. Those are our awful awards. 2023 is on the books. Congrats begrudgingly to Ryan. He is our new champion. But big things on the horizon in 2024. We're all going to start fresh. Everyone's kind of got a feel for what this league should be, could be, is. And yeah, I like where we're headed. So awesome. We'll catch you guys later. 2023